Hello, welcome back to the Creative Differences Podcast. I'm Dallas, and the word of the day is fast because Demi saw FasTEN Your Seatbelts, and we need to do this fast because these niggas got things to do.
I'm Gabby, and I have nothing to say.
And I'm Demi, and I'm going to try and focus on the things that I love today and not about the horrifying state of the entertainment industry. Welcome to another episode of the Creative Differences Podcast, your one-stop shop for movie reviews, Fancast Fridays, Throwback Thursdays, and a number of other pop culture-related items, sometimes a soapbox. Today, we will be discussing Fast X, as Dallas mentioned, sort of, and White Men Can't Jump.
Woo!
Yep. Please like, share, and subscribe just because I asked you to, and it would be nice if you did.
Guys, I'm going to be honest with you. We might end up in a soapbox territory at some point today. But let's keep going. Dallas, do you want to talk about White Men Can't Jump?
Let's talk about White Men Can't Jump.
Let's go.
It is directed by Calmatic. If you don't know who that is, he makes music videos for the most part. He also made that House Party remake from this year, which means he's been very busy.
There was a House Party remake?
There was.
Yeah.
Is he just remaking 90s stuff? He's like, if it came out before 95, let's remake
he
it.
makes remakes of old black movies. So I love that for him. But yeah, he made the Old Town Road remix video.
Nice.
Kendrick's Rich Spirit, Young, Broke, Dumb, High School Kids, or whatever that Khalid song
I
is
love
called.
that song.
And Anderson .Paak's Bubbling with the ATM machine and the Big Titty White Woman.
Ooh.
Okay.
The movie is written by
Now I
Kenya
have to
Barris
watch that.
and Doug Hall. You've seen it. And Doug Hall. You know Kenya Barris. He has a reputation.
I felt his fingerprints all over this movie.
Yeah. He made Blackish. He made You People. He wrote a bunch of remakes. I'm realizing.
Cheaper by the Dozen, which is being taken off of Disney Plus.
Shaft.
Boo.
The Witches, Coming to America.
Oh, wow.
He likes his old stuff. It was also written by Doug Hall, who was a writer on Blackish and Black AF.
Nice.
Are you noticing a pattern? I bet you are. The movie stars Cinco Walls, Jack Harlow, Tiana Taylor, Lori Harrier, Vince Staples, Miles Bullock, and the late, great Lance Reddick.
Yes.
I wasn't ready for him to show up on screen.
Me either. I was like, oh my God, what is he doing here? My heart, like, twisted.
And it's obviously a remake of White Men Can't Jump. IMDb summary says, remake of White Men Can't Jump, pretty much. All right,
A movie I've never seen. So.
Oh my God, it's so good.
I had seen it a long time ago, and then I was like, let me rewatch it, do a little double feature. So I did a double feature.
I did that. I was going to do that, and then it got late.
Because you decided to watch the original, I decided I would come into this with the mindset of somebody who has never seen the original.
Oh.
Yeah, nice. I'm glad we got both perspectives.
And I've only seen the original. Let's move on.
Initial thoughts. It's all right.
It was cool.
I liked it. I'll say that. It wasn't.
I also liked
great.
it, but it's one of those things where it's just like I can throw this on and not think about it for
it's
couple
not
hours.
bad. It's not great. It's cool.
How did Jack do?
We will get to that after Demi's initial thought.
Okay.
Yeah,
which is pretty much the same.
Pretty much the same. I was like,
Yeah, I thought
this reminds me of one of those movies back, like 10 years ago that I'd just be like, this was fun. Let me throw it on just like at random because I'm bored and not really doing anything.
I feel you.
But nothing that like I'd be like,
Cinema.
I'm not like super like, yeah, let's watch White Men Can't Jump. Like, that's not the thing that's happening.
I got it. I did it.
Yeah.
I see what they did.
It's cool.
To answer your question, I think Jack did great. I think Jack and Cinco Walls, the leads, did very well to the point where writing that a lot of the time doesn't work for me in this movie, they made it work because I like their dynamic. Jack Harlow is a fun, silly white boy. The way he bounces off of Cinco Walls' character, it works very well. Yeah, some of the writing is just not my favorite.
From the little bit I saw at the beginning. So the beauty of, we're going to compare. The beauty of the beginning of White Men Can't Jump, the original, is that there's like a lot of it looked like improvisation, a lot of trash talk, and a lot of like the characters felt like they'd been lived in a little bit, and like they knew each other, they were really comfortable with each other, and there was not that in the beginning of the new one. It was very stiff, at least in comparison.
It feels a lot more, to quote Harry Styles, like a movie, you know? Because the first one, the basketball scenes, aside from the over-the-top ones, like when the dude goes to get a gun out of his car.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
They kind of feel like someone took a camera and then just recorded a pickup basketball game with a bunch of niggas. And
yeah,
Gabby was gonna co-sign, and then I said, niggas, she stopped herself. But this one feels more like scripted scenes at a basketball court, which, yeah.
That's how movies work.
Yeah, but the first one felt more natural.
Yeah.
And the reason I say a lot of the writing didn't work for me, because as you noticed from the writing credits of some of the people, it's very focused on the black people do this, white people do that kind of humor.
There was a point halfway through the movie where I was like, this is reminding me a lot of You People. And then I got to the end credits and I was like, this is why.
And it's just, Kenya, you are not beating the allegations, sir. Because every time a movie comes out with Kenya Barris, they're like, all he does is talk about, or show, all he does is talk about black people this or white people that. Yeah, we get it. There are black people and there are white people.
That's his brand.
And they have some differences. Let's move past it a little bit. But yeah,
I felt the same way about You People that I feel about this movie. I was like, yeah, this was fine.
That's the thing. I liked You People. I like this movie. Neither of them are great, but they both have people in them that make it work for me.
Yeah.
I really like Jonah Hill. I really like Lauren London.
Eddie Murphy.
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Neil
Fantastic. Great cast. Just like this one. Vince Staples is my boy.
As soon as I saw him pop up, I was like, oh, Dallas is loving this.
Vince Staples was also one of the best, of the clips that I saw, one of the best parts of it.
Right. And he has that just kind of, he's the side character who just pops up here and there.
When he clowns somebody, though, it's so good.
I love it. But even with like certain story, there are things about it that really work for me. The setup and payoff for the Ed Sheeran joke.
Oh, yeah.
When Jack Harlow shows up to the basketball court, blasting Shape of You. I love that. It's great. There are fun things here.
Also, I got to see my celebrity twin apparently in that movie. So it's for a long time I never thought I had a celebrity twin until Spider-Man Homecoming came out, and then all of you guys were like, she looks like you.
She does.
And it's like, okay.
I had never seen that woman before that movie.
I hadn't either. And
none of us have.
That relationship,
it was interesting.
So kind of meh to me, but I think that's mostly because of the comparison to the first one.
Yeah.
Because Rosie Perez and Woody Harrelson
have
so much going on. It's passionate, it's annoying, it's frustrating.
Yeah.
You feel it. And this one, it felt like they didn't focus on that as much.
Yeah.
But
no. But I did like, it was cool. Like their conflict was cool. When it finally does come to a head, although I felt like there probably could have been more build up to that conflict.
What I will say is that they made it different enough that I appreciate that. It's not shot for shot. The stories are different.
Oh, okay, cool.
Like in this one, Kamal's story is that he was a high school basketball phenom.
Yeah.
And then something happened and it all got messed up for him.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremy, Jack Harlow, was a college basketball player who injured his both ACLs.
Oh, shit.
So things didn't work out for him that way either.
So they have that in common. Bro love.
But yeah, as Woody Harrelson was just an idiot who would consistently ruin his own situation.
Yep.
Jack Harlow kind of does that in this movie.
Does that, but he's starting from a place of dishonesty, which not great. But this whole thing is trying to do this basketball thing, and Laura Harrier is like, boy, if you don't focus, like this is not the thing to be doing right now. They deviate in that kind of way. It feels very similar. But Rosie Perez is like a ride or die. She's like, yeah, we're going to hustle these people. She pulls a gun on Wesley Snipes in the first
immediately.
Scene.
Immediately. Yeah, that was great. That was amazing.
Laura doesn't have that ride or die energy.
She got nominated for an Oscar.
I don't know.
For that.
She has ride or die energy. She just doesn't have that ride or die.
She doesn't have that ride or die energy.
Yeah, but like Rosie Perez is from like Brooklyn? Bronx? Yes. Yeah.
Laura Harrier's not the type.
No.
She's from Brooklyn in the 80s. Like
that's like me pulling a gun on somebody randomly. Like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lance Reddick was great.
He always is great.
Father.
Black basketball dad. Fantastic. Got me in my feelings. Just because it's Lance Reddick.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not a whole lot to say about the movie. The soundtrack is fire. Well, that's expected because Calmatic directed it and he makes music videos for a bunch of fire music.
Yep.
And Jack Harlow is one of the stars.
Yeah, so. He's a musician.
Yeah. I like Jack Harlow.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't.
I love Jack.
But I really do.
I don't listen to a lot of Jack Harlow, but I do like his verse on that Lil Nas X song. So
yeah, I listen to enough Jack Harlow. Yeah, I love him though. His chicken shop date interview is chef's kiss.
But yeah, and also I'm glad to see Cinco Walls in more stuff. So if you're already interested in the movie, if you're not interested, don't.
Yeah, but worth a shot if you're curious. Yeah. Tiana Taylor's great, by the way.
Yes, she is.
Her voice is so low. She always sounds like she's getting over a cold.
I mean, so do I right now, so it's fine.
It's just like, that's just your voice.
I think that's just her voice.
She is, man.
Yeah.
Tiana Taylor.
All right.
But anyway, speaking of dope soundtracks, I went to go see Fast X, which is directed by Louis Leterrier, and it stars...
Oh boy.
Take a deep breath.
Hold it together, guys. Stay with me. Stars Vin Diesel, Michelle Rodriguez, Tyrese Gibson, Chris Ludacris Bridges, aka Dallas's favorite Chris, Natalie Emmanuel, Sung Kang, John Cena, Charlize Theron, Jason Momoa, Jordana Brewster, Brie Larson, Alan Richardson, Jason Statham, Daniela Melchior, Helen Mirren, Frida Moreno, and Leo Abello Perry. Please don't ask how, but they are all in this movie and more. Yeah. The IMDb summary is Dom Toretto and his family are targeted by the vengeful son of drug kingpin Hernan Reyes, which is the villain from Fast 5, for those who don't know.
Thank you.
This movie has no business being as ridiculous as it is, and I love every second of it. It's
Family.
No, because
apparently since the second one, remember when that car just like jumped onto that boat? Like since
that, you know what, that should have been the point. There was a video that Dallas sent us that was like when's the moment that the series just like jumped out of reality. That's the second movie. It's
when
the second movie.
When he said that, I was like Fast 2 when that the car jumped onto the boat and
Also,
then he said it.
Speaking of Too Fast and Furious, fun fact: I was watching something with John Singleton years ago, and he was talking about Too Fast and Furious and how they would just take Hot Wheels and do crazy stuff with them.
Yes.
And be like, let's go into the movie.
Exactly. That's how that happened.
Oh my god.
And this is where we're okay. So anyway, I got to get through this review. So
yes, ma'am.
This movie's insanity. Rules out the window. We're here to have fun with the beginning of the end of this saga.
This is part 1, right?
This is part 1 of what is now apparently 3.
No.
Triple X.
Let's get this. The final, like, oh my gosh. Here's the thing. I know Fast and Furious is ridiculous, and for years I have said I love Fast and Furious because it has gotten so ridiculous. There are points even in this movie where I had to laugh off how ridiculous it was.
Did they go to space yet?
No, we did that last movie.
What?
You're late.
Tyrese went to space last time.
We did that last time.
I thought that was going this time.
No, we already did that, and even then, we still did more ridiculous stuff this time, and there was no space involved.
Fast.
We're moving. We're moving.
They Fast and Furious.
Yeah. You never gotta get Fast and Furious. You stay Fast and
Exactly. So the final scene of the movie before the mid-credit scene, me and the two people who were sitting next to me had the most audible reaction to what was going on. We were just like, what? Like, it was just the most amount of disbelief, but so much excitement for what is to come. My friend sent me a Twitter thread yesterday that was done by Mika Burton. I'm not going to read it. It's 7 tweets long, but it's basically comparing the Fast and Furious franchise to a D&D campaign, where the first movie is where you start off at as level 1 characters and you're doing real normal stuff. The cops are the bad guys. We're sticking straight to the guide rules. You know, nothing cool is really, rule of cool doesn't exist yet. We're not doing that. We're sticking to the guidebook. We're trying to stay serious. And then you reach level 15, which is where we're at with movie number 10. And it's like, rule of cool exists. Who cares about the laws of physics? We just want to do really awesome stuff.
Randomly introducing Pokemon. And
listen, we're at level 15. We can do ridiculous things. I say this as somebody whose character just leveled up to level 15 this week.
Nice.
My character, for the first time, just walked through a wall and then fell off from a second story and only lost 6 hit points, okay?
Damn.
This is what happens when you...
Damn.
This is what happens when you reach level 15. Yeah. And I was like, this is the perfect...
It's a great analogy.
This is the perfect analogy. And it's so perfect because Vin Diesel is a huge fan of Dungeons and Dragons. Of course his movie works this way.
That makes sense.
That makes sense. Like, that's how his brain's wired, man. We've leveled up, guys. It's crazy. I love these characters with my whole heart, and this movie does not work if you do not have the history with them, because then you'd be like, what kind of emotional arc are we going through? Like, I don't know these people. But if you've been watching the last 9 movies like I have, you're definitely attached. It's family. If you do not care about the family, there's too much going on for the emotional resonance, but the history helps give that. There are too many characters to discuss, but the Roman Tej Ramsey dynamic continues to shine comedically. This time around, they have Han to add to that, hanging out with them.
All right.
We've got the Letty Cypher dynamic, which will be an interesting one to continue to watch for the next 2 films. John Cena gets a wholesome turn, getting to be Uncle Jake to little Brian. Daniela Melchior and Brie Larson are great additions as Isabel and Tess, and I cannot wait to see what parts they play in this finale, especially Daniela Melchior as Isabel. Han and Shaw will hopefully fully work out their bad blood, and holding the family together is Vin Diesel's Dominic Toretto. They all spend most of the movie separated, which, like, sometimes... That's one of my criticisms, is that sometimes you forget the storyline is happening and then you jump back to it and you're like, oh, right, these people are in the movie. And I'm talking about main characters. Like, there were times where I was like, oh, yeah.
How long is the movie?
Like 2.5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, they spent it separated, but man, it's gonna be so satisfying when they all get reunited.
It's gonna be the Avengers Endgame moment.
That is if they have survived the sociopathic rampage of a flamboyant and exciting Jason Momoa, quickly and easily the best villain of the saga.
Wow.
He's amazing and unhinged and chaotic, and people have described him as the Joker to Vin Diesel's Dom Toretto, and it's true and it's perfect and I love it. It's great. It's so much chaos.
I love that for Jason.
It's amazing. They just let him
having the time.
He looked like he was having time.
I heard he looks like he's having the time.
He's having so much fun.
Just going at it.
You can tell these people are just having fun making these movies, and it's great. The action is fantastic as always and law-defying as ever. From bomb balls to lab fights to cannon cars to driving off of bridges, Fast X has gone balls to the walls, even more so than the last movie, which took us to space.
This is silly.
And I love it so much. One of the things that I always commend these movies for is being quite possibly the most consistently inclusive franchise of the past 2 decades. It's the longest running franchise with the same main cast, and it also has the longest running feature film romance in Hollywood history, with Dom and Letty going for 23 years.
Oh, look at that.
These movies, listen, these don't strive to be the greatest movies ever made, but they do aim to entertain and give you the spectacle for the theater. And they succeed every single time. It's insanity. It's crazy. We're doing crazy stuff every time. If your criticism is that these movies are ridiculous, yeah, they know. It's not a criticism at this point. This is what we're trying to do. We're succeeding.
Oh, they know.
They know, and they pointed it out to us in Fast 9 last movie when they were like, hey guys, we might be superheroes. Yo, Fast 10 is straight up just a superhero movie. It's fantastic. I'm having a great time. It's probably the most fun I've had in a theater all year, guys.
Nice.
I love these movies, and I cannot wait to see what ending Vin Diesel has for the Fast saga. He said that every saga must have an ending because it's what gives story meaning, and I cannot wait to see what he's doing because that
3 movies though, damn.
It was supposed to be 2,
yeah.
and now it's 3, and I'm like, I don't know what you needed a 3rd movie for, but if Jason Momoa is going to be the villain for these next 2 films too, amazing. Let's do this.
Yeah, I have a question about that. Did they stop in like what feels like a midpoint, or
no? It ends on a cliffhanger. We're having a great time.
That's what I meant. That like, is there a cliffhanger?
We stopped on a cliffhanger, and I need to know. I need to know there are people that come back. That I need to understand how they came back. There are other people that I need to come back. Like, so much.
Is Gal Gadot
There's so much going on.
Did she have an on-screen
and
death?
I just, God, I'm so excited for what comes next, but I have to stop my review here. That's all I have to say about it. If you love insane action movies, this is definitely up there. It is absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. And if you have a problem suspending your disbelief for what they do in the Fast and Furious movies, don't go see it then.
Yeah.
But if you're in for a fun time and you just want to see crazy stuff happen, this is definitely the movie for you. Let's do it. Let's get it.
All right. Bet. I'm not doing a what you watching because of time crunch reasons.
Yep.
But do either of you want to do that, or you want to go to the trailers?
Let's go to the trailers.
Let's go to the trailers.
Reasons.
Trailer tracking. The creator.
Oof, let's go.
John David Washington is walking around with the little robot baby.
Yes, Gareth Edwards is back.
Wait, I know that name. Who's that?
He did Rogue One.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it did say
and
for
he
the
did-
director of
It
Rogue
did
One.
say that. I was like, who's that?
And he also did Godzilla, and it's also one of my favorite Godzilla movies. The cinematographer
2014
is
Godzilla?
yes.
Ooh, that was a good one.
The cinematographer is Greg Fraser, who did Dune and The Batman, and is doing Dune Part 2, and he did Rogue One, and he's done The Mandalorian. This movie also stars Gemma Chan. When I initially heard about this movie, it was under the fake title of True Love. So I was like, why are these 2 men making a romance movie? That's interesting. Okay, cool. And then I saw this trailer and I was like, oh, this is what that was? This isn't what I thought it was at all.
Yeah, no, if it's called True Love, I wouldn't have I thought Robot Love or something.
Well, and then recently in the last few weeks, they announced that Gemma Chan was in a movie with AI.
Okay.
And
Well, we didn't see her in the trailer at all.
She is in the trailer.
Is she in
She
it?
is?
Yeah, very shortly, very briefly.
Didn't see her.
She's in the trailer. And I remember a few weeks ago when they were like, she's playing the AI. And I was like, if Gemma Chan is playing AI, if she's playing a robot again who falls in love with a human, I'm going to scream. Because she's done this before. Humans
do that
is a great show.
Oh, Humans. It is an interesting idea.
Like a baby robot and its dad and its adopted dad.
Yeah, we're doing
The kid.
We're doing the thing,
surrogate
yeah.
dad, sad dad, surrogate daughter with robot.
Yep.
I think right now everybody's paying more attention to it.
Yeah.
Because you have Last of Us, you have Mandalorian. It's a lot of Pedro Pascal's fault. And then, now we got John David Washington.
You see what I mean when I keep saying I would like to see him play different roles.
Yeah.
Who, Pedro?
Yeah, I need him to go
sad dad.
beyond the sad dad.
Oh, he does.
adopting
I
a
mean,
daughter.
he was in that
He does.
awesome movie. He played that drug lord with Nick Cage. That movie is
Oh.
amazing.
I heard that was funny.
Oh, it's so good.
That's not the ones that's getting attention though.
It's not, but it should, because actually there's a meme based on it. But it should. It's so good. It's so
We
funny.
take memes from the most obscure places. This is how memes work.
That's true.
Love a good meme.
That's
But yeah,
some
this
of my
movie was
favorite
cool.
Pedro
Like
Pascal
Colin, I
memes.
saw the beginning and I was like, okay, they kill some robots. I've seen that. And then once the little girl says like, oh, I can't go to heaven. We both can't go to heaven because you're not good and I'm not a person. I was like, yo,
Oh shit.
what's going on here?
Oof.
So I think I'll give it a shot. Also, I like John David Washington.
Yeah,
I am a fan.
me too. I love his character in Tenet, even though they didn't give him a name.
He's the protagonist.
He's the protagonist.
Rolls
I'm-
eyes.
It's dangerous to have a name. Names have
The
power.
one black lead in a Christopher Nolan movie, and they're like, you don't need a name.
Black man number one.
I'm always very excited to see original sci-fi movies, especially of such a big budget in theaters, because it's such a rarity nowadays. Also, this movie has a phenomenal cast beyond just John David Washington and Gemma Chan. We also have Allison Janney, Ralph Ineson is in it, Ken Watanabe,
Oh yeah,
Veronica Go. My boy Amar Chadha Patel. I'm so happy that he's in this movie. He is in Willow, and that's why I love him so much. And I've already dedicated myself to supporting anything the Willow cast does. So I'm excited that he is in this big time movie. But also, it looks, well, like I said, cinematographer is Greg Fraser. So it looks amazing because the cinematographer is a master of his craft. And I love the way that his movies look. So I'm very excited about this. This looks really cool. And this is not what I thought it was going to be when I initially heard about this movie.
Yeah.
I for sure was like, what are these two epic action movie dudes making a love movie? That sounds like fun.
Surprise.
Surprise.
Sad dad, robot dog.
It is a bleak
like-
dystopian.
I was like, this is going to be the most epic looking regular romance I've ever seen in my life. It's not.
Also, smart of those robots to make their what looks like robot hero a tiny, adorable baby robot, because humans aren't gonna touch that. Smart
Sure.
as hell. We're gonna be like, oh my god, it's so cute. I can't kill it.
They'd have to make it a puppy for me. I'd adopt a puppy. If I saw a little girl in the chair, I'd be like, yo, somebody can get her. This ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm out. I would not kill a
he's
child. I would
saying-
back away slowly.
He's saying he'd get somebody else
I'm
to
not
do
going to
it.
be no sad dad, surrogate daughter situation.
No. He's like, I don't like kids like that, man.
You make that AI a Labrador, little husky. I'm putting my life on the line.
No, because we've seen what those AI robot dogs look like, and they're not
Well, those
cute.
are horrifying. You got to make it
Exactly.
look like an actual dog.
Wait, where? Where did we
Those
see that?
little Black Mirror things that be running
I
around.
love those
Yeah,
things.
those.
Gabby.
Basically the walking table situation.
It's
For
because
now.
Gabby hasn't seen Black
Yeah,
Mirror,
you-
because
I have
Got some homework for you.
No, absolutely not. I'm not watching shit that will make me curl up into a ball for a couple days. I have a kid to take care of.
All right.
you can curl up into a ball with the baby, duh.
The baby screeches and smiles. She don't get.
She'll make you
mommy's
feel
in a
happy
mood.
afterwards.
Right.
It'll be fine.
Next trailer. Call Scorsese. We got a long ass movie on our hands.
It's his movie.
Is it
Yeah.
3 hours long?
Killers of the Flower.
It's almost 4 hours.
Fuck that! I'm
Yeah.
not watching it.
So here's the thing.
You can, 2 sittings.
So I heard of this movie. I saw the pictures where they're like, Leo looks unrecognizable. And like,
The
look at the
lie.
picture.
He doesn't.
That was
He looks
just him.
exactly the same. He's just tired.
I'm still mad about that because it was the same week that they released the pictures of Lily James as Pamela Anderson, and I was like, no. You don't get to say that.
yeah, exactly.
Maybe somebody like who was working there copied and pasted it and forgot to change it. Like
They
put
just
Leo's
changed
name
the
in.
names.
It's like, oh man, we messed up. We used the wrong prompt. But
Nah, they want people to click on it and be like, Leo's unrecognizable.
yeah, autofill. But I watched the trailer. It's good. It's a good trailer. This is a movie that if it wasn't too long, I think I might give a shot to, because
Really?
yeah, at first it was just giving me like white savior vibes, and I don't love that.
Yeah.
I have not seen the thing it's adapted from. I think it's a book.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But if it's
I
written
haven't
by a
read
white
that.
man,
I don't know the actual story because I'm pretty sure this is like a nonfiction book that it's based on. Like there are actual
Yeah,
murders
it's
and all
based
that
on a
stuff.
true story.
It's a true crime situation. I'm not really trying to watch Leo getting his white savior back for 3 hours. But the trailer itself with all the crime and everything, I was like, okay, I'm getting some like Wind River-ish, maybe old school Boardwalk Empire type crime vibes. but it's 3.5 hours. So Marty, you can keep it.
I might read the book because this is the title of the book: Killers of the Flower Moon: the Osage Murders and the Birth of the FBI.
Oh, that's got Gabby written all over it.
Yeah, so I might read the book. My problem is this: I don't like Martin Scorsese's recent movies. I think anything from The Departed and before, or no, Shutter Island probably. I haven't seen Shutter Island.
I do like Shutter Island,
but I feel like that I would enjoy that. Shutter Island and before, I'm down.
Okay.
Wolf of Wall Street, fuck that shit. Like anything after that, I'm like, it's not for me. I don't like it. No, thank you. I don't think I'm the target audience for it, to be completely honest. Like, it just seems like they're for men to enjoy like shitty things that men do.
I haven't seen Silence, so I wouldn't know.
What?
Silence, that movie with Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield.
Okay, I haven't
seen it either.
I haven't seen that one
monks
either.
Or something.
Yeah, and it's like it's
too long.
Silent, and that's also the thing is like they're getting really really long. So
hey, wait a minute, Hugo's amazing though.
I haven't seen Hugo.
I was gonna say Hugo is the last movie he made that was normal length. It came out
2011.
12 years ago.
2011.
Okay, I might consider Hugo, but like anything after that, no, thank you. Because for one, they're really long, and for two, like I said, it just seems like it's horrible things that men do, and they're supposed to be celebrated. Like
I don't know
Wolf of Wall Street, I guess, but like, how do I put it?
But I get that from the Wolf of Wall Street perspective.
That
it's
really
like, oh, look at me, look at my money. I got these hoes, I got this money, I got these drugs.
Yeah,
I got Margot Robbie stepping on my face.
Oof. Yeah, that whole movie really turns me off of Martin Scorsese and actually Leonardo DiCaprio. It kind of ruined. I mean,
I'm sorry. Did that entice you in some way?
No.
If you want to watch Wolf of Wall Street from Margot Robbie, you can be real disappointed.
I've seen Wolf of Wall Street.
Okay,
That was when I realized. That was when I discovered Margot Robbie, and when I was like, "Who is this?" That was when I got interested in the movie because I was like, "Who's this woman? She's actually acting her ass off against Leo DiCaprio, and she's keeping up." That divorce scene was when I actually got interested in the movie. I had to watch it in 2 sittings. Anyway, this is not a review of Wolf of Wall Street. I have my thoughts.
It's not. I'm sorry. I just, after that movie really turned me off of him. I also I couldn't leave. I wanted to leave. It was at a movie theater and I couldn't because I had a ride and it was before really Uber was a thing in LA. So it wasn't like I could be like, hey man, I'm going home. I had to stay
in an apartment.
Watch it at my house.
Yeah, I was in the movie theater stuck for 3 hours.
That's the last one I saw just because the other ones were all, I mean, that one's long too, but
that one's long. That one's understandably long in my opinion though, because you're supposed to get like the sensation of this is what it's like to be on drugs for hours and hours and hours on end. And I was watching the movie and I was like, I definitely feel it.
But this movie, what do you think, Demi? Interested?
I personally am not interested, but I do think it looks like it's going to be a really, really good movie. It's Scorsese. I'm not like, for me, I haven't seen a lot of Scorsese films. The ones that I have seen, they are all very good films, but I think I'm on the same boat as Gabby. We're just like, Scorsese doesn't really make movies that appeal to me.
Fair.
And that's fine, but I definitely think that whatever he has made, it's probably a very good movie. But I do think that the subject matter is also very interesting. As the trailer went on, I was like, okay, this is actually like an interesting topic to kind of touch on, because I had no idea what it was even about until this trailer. So, but yeah, it's not my thing, and I don't know if I'll be watching it. I do try to watch things that even I don't have interest in, because I feel like, one, that's the best way to discover things that you do end up actually having interest in.
True.
And two, I also feel that every movie that I watch is a learning experience. So.
All right. Well, yeah, I agree with that, because take Colin, for example. If he didn't watch things he didn't think he was interested in, he never would have found out that he loves horror movies. Speaking of Colin, horror movies, and things that he loves, what do you think of Five Nights at Freddy's?
It was a transition.
But yeah, I'm guessing that Demi and Gabby are just a hard nope for Five Nights at Freddy's.
Oh, I was a hard nope on this trailer. I still haven't seen it, like actually staring at it, so.
Yeah,
no thanks.
It's about what I expected for the teaser.
Congrats to Josh Hutcherson though, making his comeback.
Yeah, I'm so glad he's making movies again.
I'm not gonna watch this, but I am glad to see him. And you know, Chuck E. Cheese is already creepy. I don't need to make it.
Yeah, see, the trailer started while I was watching Fast X, and I knew what it was probably a trailer for. And in my head, all I could think of was, as a child, I was already afraid of the animatronics and the people in the mascot costumes.
Oh, you were?
I hated even as a teenager, I was like, please, I don't want to be anywhere near this. So
I loved it. I was like, it's fluffy.
No.
I'm more afraid of him now. Not the dudes in the suit, but like those animatronics with the dead eyes.
Yeah, because they're old. They're old too.
Look at Charles Entertainment Cheese today.
Yes, we will be calling him by his government name. I want to one day be able to take my kids to Chuck E. Cheese and not freak out.
Fair.
That's honestly, yep.
And Gabby actually already has a child, so we might be going to Chuck E. Cheese sometime in the next few years.
Yeah, we are. We definitely are. Oh, she gonna have a Chuck E. Cheese birthday party because I always wanted one.
I had one actually. I had a fever when I had it, but I was like 2 or 3.
Oh, yeah. She's gonna get one when she's really little, so that if she gets sick, when she gets sick afterward, she could just stay home and not affect other children.
Love that. All right. Speaking of violent video games, Mortal Kombat 1.
Oof. I hated that trailer.
Yo, I think it looks fun. Wasn't the last one Mortal Kombat? Just Mortal Kombat?
I think the last one was
Just keep naming them sequentially. Who cares if it's Mortal Kombat 25? FIFA names them after the year every year. Or like,
well, sports games do that. Video games don't do that. The last one was called Mortal Kombat 11. The last one that was called Mortal Kombat is when they did their reboot of the universe. So the thing about these games, that's why it's called 1. The thing about these games is the stories are so elaborate and ridiculous. It's basically a comic book at this point.
We're multiversing.
Yeah, so it's a Flashpoint situation.
Okay.
They did a bunch, and then they did Mortal Kombat again in like 2011 when Hugo came out. And then they ran through that. They got to Mortal Kombat 11 last time, and now they're rebooting again. And this is Mortal Kombat 1. Yo,
these graphics look sick.
It looks good. Like, it looks like a movie. Like, from the story standpoint, I've always had an interest in Mortal Kombat from the like character and story standpoint. I don't really like ripping niggas' faces off. Yeah. I doubt the gameplay would look like that. The cutscenes might.
I'm sure that this is just a cinematic trailer.
Because this is like the announcement. It's not the gameplay trailer. So we'll see that when it comes out. But just, everybody looks so cool.
They do. Yeah. The characters look so cool.
With the mat, and then like looking over at Melina, evil Katana, and like she's putting the mask over her mouth. My boy Sub-Zero walking through, freezing everything. I was like, this looks fire. I thought we were going to buy this game, but I'm kind of thinking about it now.
kind of considering.
Kind of thinking about it. I am interested in the lore. Invested is too strong of a word. It's very interesting to me. That's probably why I like the new movie so much, because it was a fun time, and I got to a point where I know some of these stories well enough.
Getting excited about that second one.
Oh, yeah. It looks like a fun time. If you are into the rip your spine out and beat somebody with it kind of video games, I'm sure you'll
I will say,
they've been doing this for 30 years.
Watching this trailer, I was like, has Mortal Kombat always been this graphic of a video game?
Yeah.
So, yes, it's always been...
I remember there being blood, but
extremely graphic for its time. So when it came out in the 90s, just showing blood was like, whoa. And they did that weird live action motion capture thing where the sprites were just people. Ooh. So you were actually seeing like a 90s version of a little live action person get punched in the face. Blood was splattered. They were like, there's blood in that. Why are you doing that? It became a whole thing. They made a name on it. So now
they have to
I'm jump roping with your legs because that's what they do now.
Oh, man.
But yes, it's always been this.
Well, okay, now I have a question. Is the Mortal Kombat news on the list of news?
It is not.
I feel like let's jump into that. There is, yes, okay. The fact that Tati Gabrielle is possibly playing Jade in Mortal Kombat 2, the movie.
Right.
I've said it before on this podcast. I love Tati Gabrielle.
You do.
So the fact that she's being cast in a Mortal Kombat movie is pretty dope. Also, she already has a black belt, which is
which I didn't know until you said that in the group chat. So that's pretty dope.
I discovered that a few months ago when I was going through my like, oh, I'm watching you. Oh, now I'm watching Kaleidoscope. That was the thing about the first Mortal Kombat that was great, was that most of these actors were actual fighters in real life. Like, they're mostly martial artists. I mean, Louis Tan was the lead character. This is how
Joe Taslim is in there too.
Joe Taslim, Hiroyuki Sanada. Like, there are so many talented martial artists in this film. I think even Makad Brooks has like some sort of like martial arts training as well. Okay. Like almost all these actors, Ludi Lin, have martial arts training. So it's like, it's perfect that they bring in Tati Gabrielle because she also has this level of martial arts training. And I don't think she's ever gotten to really utilize it. I think the closest that she's gotten has been Uncharted.
Right. When she and Mark Wahlberg were throwing each other around a Papa John.
Yeah, that was an interesting... There are layers to that. But anyway.
That was a fun scene though.
So like I was saying, I like Mortal Kombat. I don't know everything. All I know about Jade is that she's fine as hell and she's very dangerous and that she is black.
Tati Gabrielle fits all three of those labels.
Exactly. Good casting.
Yeah.
I do wonder what voice she is going to use for the character.
Yeah, I don't even know what Jade sounds like. And that's the thing about these is that
I barely know what Tati Gabrielle sounds like.
right?
So
You can kind of just do whatever because they've done whatever in these games.
Yeah.
Also, Carl Urban is playing Johnny Cage,
yes.
which interesting. I love Carl Urban. He's great. I think it's a little weird only because the woman playing Sonya, something McNamara.
Oh. No, that's not Catherine McNamara.
Jessica?
I know who Catherine McNamara is.
Is it McNamara? I don't know. Which one of the McNamara?
I'm going to look it up.
Thank you. I believe she's significantly younger than Carl Urban.
I think she was like in her 20s when she did the first Mortal Kombat, right?
And that's a weird age gap because they're supposed to have a kid together.
That's Holly.
Ooh,
Oh,
I
sorry.
hate that.
Jessica McNamee.
McNamee?
McNamee. Yes.
Oh. All right. Sorry, Jessica. I like her too. She's also fine and dangerous. But I would have thought they'd go younger for Johnny.
Unless they're just not even bothering with that part of the story.
I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do. These games are weird because at the point in the games that we were at, they were old enough to have an adult daughter who's probably about the age of the actress playing Sonya now. Cassie Cage. Shout out Cassie. I don't know. They're going to make it work. I like Carl Urban. I like Mortal Kombat. Tati Gabrielle is scary, and I love that.
She can play scary. If you've seen what her personality is like in real life, she is so bubbly and
nice.
Oh, I love
charming
it.
and
She's
sweet.
like Stephanie
Stephanie
Beatrice.
Beatrice.
That's why I'm like, I don't know what voice she's going to use it because her real voice,
Mhm.
I hardly ever hear her use it for any character that she plays.
Dope. But yeah, Mortal Kombat. Can't wait.
What else we got?
Speaking of violent movies, Deadpool 3 is bringing back our favorite lesbian mutant couple,
Yes.
Yukio and Negasonic Teenage Warhead, are coming back.
I was wondering if this is going to happen.
We talk about them occasionally
Yeah.
whenever Deadpool comes up.
Yeah, I was like, I wonder if she's been cast yet, or Negasonic, because I was like, there can't be a Deadpool movie without her.
We mainly bring them up whenever we talk about the casting for Deadpool 3 and whether or not they're coming back.
Yeah, I'm glad.
And
they're
they
back.
are. Don't know what they're going to be doing.
Yukio.
All Yukio did in the last one was Highway. So,
Which is fine.
yeah. I'm cool if they want to do that. If they want to bring him into
Yeah.
the story more, that's fine too.
I hope they do.
I just want Domino. Where's Domino? Somebody tell me where Domino is.
Right. I feel like
Zazie be busy.
Zazie or Zizzy?
Zazie be busy.
Yeah, she's busy.
She do be busy.
But I'm still hoping. Fingers
Yeah.
crossed. I love Domino. I love
She's great. But yeah, we're excited. We love that. Representation and fun.
See.
Speaking of representation, somebody asked Auli'i Cravalho if she's gonna play Moana again, and she said, "Do I look?"
She did not say that.
She did not say that, but she did. Yeah, essentially, she is not coming back because in her,
I mean, she
words,
is just not as Moana.
She is?
Is she gonna be in the movie?
She's an executive producer on the film.
Oh, I meant like
okay.
on screen as an actress.
Oh, okay.
She won't reprise her role, is what we should say.
Okay.
She said, "I will not be reprising the role. I believe it's absolutely vital that casting accurately represents the characters and stories we want to tell." Which, love that. I get it.
Especially after the Nani fiasco.
Right. Like we just had a whole situation with Nani being lighter and Gabby was like, Nani has to be thicker than day old grits.
Exactly.
And this actress
she
is not.
does.
Thicker than a bowl of oatmeal?
Exactly.
Yes.
And Gabby was very upset that the thighs weren't being represented.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, anyway.
I get it.
I agree and understand her sentiment. I am still sad and don't want this anymore.
Really?
I was the only reason I was on board was because I was like, cool, if you're gonna do it this soon, then yeah, Auli'i Cravalho should definitely be the one playing Moana. But if she's not, I'm like, we can wait.
Okay.
We don't need to do it now.
You could definitely have waited.
The Boulder's conflicted because I was on the boat with you and then Ali said that and I was like, fuck, she's right.
She's
right.
absolutely right. She is absolutely correct.
Yeah, you just don't want to watch it with somebody else.
I was just upset about this.
Yeah, now I'm like, well, now give me time to wait because she just did this less than 10 years ago.
It was in 2016,
like,
guys. It was 7 years.
It's barely a Disney classic. Like, give us some time at this
It
point.
was 7 years. You can't even say that's vintage. It's not vintage yet.
I do think it is weirdly early if that's not what they were going for.
But you know,
I'm
The
gonna
Rock
watch
got
it
to
'cause I like
recoup his
Moana.
losses.
But yeah, cool. We'll see who they get. Hopefully they are brown.
Well, they will be.
They definitely will be.
I think
they're smart and they've learned from
After
the
she said that, they're not
mistake.
going to be like, yeah, let's get a light skin.
Yeah.
I mean, they might. Here's
Hopefully
the
they
thing. Here's the thing. Sorry, I'm going through a lot of thoughts right now about Disney. They could, And I could see Auli'i Cravalho leaving the film if they did something like that.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think they will.
Like, I mean, she's only an executive producer. I say only as if that's not a
but
big
people
deal.
would
That is a big deal.
Yeah.
But it would be the same as when the people who created Avatar: The Last Airbender left the live action series. That's in my mind, that's what that would be like, is if they did something like that.
She made this public statement. It's important that we represent this accurately. And then if Disney was like, nah, that would definitely have an impact on the public perception, because it's like, not only did you do this already with Nani, but then your producer and Moana said, let's not do that. If you did it again, people would be like, yo, what are y'all doing?
Yeah.
How are we going to do this again?
But the thing is, they've already seen it with Nani, so hopefully.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
I mean, 1,000 times over, because
SpongeBob.
That's what
yeah. I don't want to jump on the soapbox, but I'm going to jump on the soapbox.
Yeah, do it.
With what Disney is currently doing with Disney Plus, removing all of these shows, all of these movies, it's kind of hard to believe that representation actually matters to them.
Yeah.
Which, yes, fair. Corporations are going to corporation. Yeah. That's what they do. It just sucks. Well, the thing is, Disney's not the first streaming service to do it. HBO Max did it.
Oh, yeah.
They started it, and there wasn't as much of an outcry. But I do remember being extremely upset about it, because here are the works of different artists just disappearing, being erased. They have no idea what's happening to it. All these things that creators spent all this time making, it's now gone.
Final Space hurt my soul when it left.
Well, now it's to avoid the residuals, because now we're in the middle of a writer's strike. The actors are about to go on strike. Directors are probably also about to go on strike. Yeah. They're avoiding paying people. I just want to say this to you, Disney. I know I have a small platform. You guys probably aren't even listening, but I want you to know that in the next couple of weeks, when Pride Month happens, if you take Willow off of Disney Plus in this coming week, and then you put the rainbow everywhere, I'm telling you right now, I'm on your asses. Because deleting the first lesbian Disney princess from Disney Plus, and then a week later putting a rainbow on, I'm coming for you, bro. I will not let you kill Kit Tantalos.
They don't care about the people wanting to watch it. They care about, how's this hurting my bottom line? That's the thing.
Here's the thing. Disney Plus is removing a lot of original content that they created specifically for their streaming service. Let's be clear here. This is a streaming service that has been around for less than 4 years, which means most of this content is less than 4 years old. Willow is not even 6 months old by the time it will be pulled from the streaming service. Literally came out for the first time November 30th. Now, there is the possibility that they will be selling them to they will be selling the license for it to be shown on other streaming services, on other networks, things like that. However, there is no confirmation that this is what they're doing. Right now, all we know is that creators' works are being taken and erased. And mind you, Disney Plus has decided that a few of these titles will actually be staying on Disney Plus. They have not finalized their list yet. There are people on the internet who are consistently campaigning for certain shows to be left on the streaming service. But there's no physical media for any of that.
Yeah.
You can't buy it anywhere. So it's just gone, except that the internet is forever. So good luck with that.
So it's probably out there somewhere.
Yeah. I don't think that there's a feasible way for it. There's not a feasible way for you to make profit with streaming without just like completely destroying whatever art that you're creating for your streaming service. Once it's no longer popular, then we just have to pull it off of our streaming service in order for us to save money.
While I love the convenience of streaming, I feel like, how do I put this? I wish they had gone the traditional TV route instead of just approving everything. I wish they had been a little bit more choosy so that like you could make it profitable, but also have everybody being paid well.
But then you also have to consider how much money they put into making a lot of these shows that they make. There's a reason why these TV shows look like they belong in a cinema. It's because we spend a lot of money on it.
But like the sheer amount of them,
there's so
also,
many,
though, is also just like, they could have cut down on the amount of shows they put out. And like the initial appeal of Netflix wasn't their original content. It was the fact that they had content and then I didn't have to watch commercials. Just for that, I was paying a fee and I was happy with it. It seems like everything's going to come to a halt.
It already has.
Yeah, even more though. Also, like what hurts the most is like a company like Disney, HBO, a lot of these companies had record years. A lot, especially during the pandemic, especially Disney. And you motherfucker, you cheap asses don't want to pay? Like, what's funny is your problem?
In the time that the writer's strike has been going, they've actually lost the amount of money that the writers were asking for.
I heard that. And it's just like, really? really? You wanted to, and they're losing even more.
Yeah,
and honestly, they low-key deserve it. But also, like, come on, man, just pay people.
It sucks so hard. And like, I speak from a Willow perspective because that's the show that I want to be saved and I want to be on the internet, so that's the one that I'm focused on. But like, I imagine that every fandom feels this way about whatever show is being removed. I'm sure Gabby feels this way about Dollface.
Yeah, that one hurts.
I watch Willow and I'm just like, I can feel the love that all these people put into this show. I can feel the passion. This wasn't just like I know that John Kasdan made this show out of pure love of the original story of Willow, which is turning 35 years old today, and somehow its sequel series is about to be cut off of a streaming service in the next week. I've been thinking a lot about, like, there's a documentary series about the making of the show, which is also being removed from Disney Plus. And there's a segment within the documentary where Amarchata Patel, who I mentioned earlier, talks about how great it was for him as a brown man to be able to play a character that's so very much in the vein of Han Solo and Indiana Jones, because Indian people don't get to play roles like that. And there's a whole section where Aaron Kellyman and Ruby Cruz talk so emphatically about how important it is to them that they get to play queer characters on a Disney show, because they can't believe that that's even a thing that was a possibility for them.
Like, Good Luck Chuck got taken off because there was one episode with gay people.
Like if you see the joy in Aaron Kellyman when she talks about being queer and like how if she had had this show as a kid, it would have helped her understand her thoughts so much better, and that she hopes that helps other kids growing up, and like her joy in making this show and how badly she didn't want this process to end. And then for like 6 months later, they're like, we're gonna pull it from the streaming service. This made just one person who made this show so happy, and then that joy, like, it was spread to all of us who love this show. It's like, this is what art is for. And this is like what you're in the business to make.
I really don't get why they don't pay up when they make so much. It does not compute.
You know why. We know why. And like, I usually don't get on this soapbox because I don't want to burn bridges that I haven't even crossed yet. I do want to work for some of these companies one day because I love being a filmmaker and I love creating. And you know what? I would like for my stuff to be seen by the biggest audiences possible. And the best way to do that is by these studios. But there is also this deep, gaping fear that the thing that I have put my heart and soul in will one day not belong to me. And I will no longer have control over whether or not people get to experience the story, even just in full.
Yeah.
The people that are being affected by it the most are the ones that need the residual checks, right?
And they're the ones on strike.
And they're the ones on strike. So you're hurting, you're basically taking money out of their pocket when they're already low on funds so that they go back to work. You know, you got to feed your kids, you know, you have to pay your house, you have to pay your mortgage. Like, there's some funds that people can donate to, but if the studio has taken out your paycheck by taking the show off of streaming, you know, how are you gonna continue?
But yeah, it's a dangerous precedent, and it's part of the reason. I don't think it's part of the reason why writers are striking, but a lot of why writers are striking has to do with streaming. It also has to do with AI now coming into play, and studios wanting to use AI to write scripts or outlines or anything like that to do any sort of creative work, and then having writers come in and rewrite.
Which is like, what is the point then?
I could have written this better on first draft. What are we doing?
Exactly. You're just wasting everybody's time.
But the point of this entire soapbox is to say that we should be supporting artists, and that because not every writer out there is being paid like Christopher Nolan or like all the big writers that you guys think of when you think of movies. A lot of them are just trying to make it by through the month, and some of them aren't actually doing it. So,
and then they're making less jobs now for writers because they're making writing rooms even smaller.
Mini rooms, ridiculous. It's unacceptable. So yeah, you guys should be supporting artists any way that you possibly can. Boom, that's the end of that soapbox. We are a pro-art podcast, mostly because there are several creatives on this podcast.
Yeah, and we want people to get paid so they can live. Yeah.
I also
one person that just likes art. Hey.
I also, as a creative who wants to actually work consistently as a creative, I would like to be paid properly. So
right.
Yeah.
So Cause you might catch me on one of these strike lines.
That's what pisses me off. It's a trickle out of your pockets, and you can 100% afford it. So what the fuck, my guy? Like, you're paying your CEO stupid amount of money.
Oh, there's a graph, not a graph. There's a a graphic that are showing actually how much all these CEOs make. So
for them to just make dumbass decision, no offense, full offense, for them to make some very risky and stupid decisions that actually cost a lot of money from the studio versus people that are actually producing the product that you put out. Like, come on, my guy.
I don't know if we had anything else on the news list.
We did not. That was a great time.
Great. That's a great time for a soapbox.
Yay. Yeah, it was. That's why I was like, wow, we could end on this.
Wow, to transition back into
I know.
Another news.
So another news.
No, it's done. Yeah. Thanks, audience, for listening to all of that. The reviews, the news, the soapboxes.
Join us. Tell us down below what you guys think of the current state of the entertainment industry. I know that there are some people out there who think it's ridiculous that writers are striking. You're wrong. But
I have a question. Has there ever been an actor strike? Because it looks like there's about to be one.
I'm sure SAG has definitely had a strike before. I'm not sure when, though.
Oh, that reminds me of that video with Jason Sudeikis and Brendan Hunt. Brendan Hunt is Coach Beard from Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
They were there as writers striking, and the woman doing the interview was asking, like, do you guys see the possibility of, like, a SAG strike as well? Like, as actors, would you be prepared for that? And he said, I got two hands for two sides.
I haven't seen that. I need
like,
to see it.
I love that.
Well, it's
Brendan Hunt said that, or Jason?
Brendan.
I have two hands and two signs.
SAG
I want to go and support them as like I'm in a union.
You can go.
I want to go, but I don't want to go by myself.
Oh no. My idea is that I do actually want to go down to the picket line one day.
Okay, I'll go with you because I'm on graveyard shift right now.
So one day. I've been sick though, so I haven't been able to like actually make a plan to go down to one of the studios and actually strike.
I don't have the names of them on hand, but I know there's like funds that you can donate to that help writers. Yeah. That are currently striking. If you want to support them, I'm going to support them.
If you guys haven't noticed yet, in all of our 200 plus episodes of this podcast, we're a very progressive podcast.
We're super union, like solidarity forever, man. Solidarity forever. Unions are the backbone of the American middle class.
Me and Dallas aren't in unions yet, but one day.
You will be. And I highly always support union work because you can't get fired on the spot.
Thank you guys for listening. As we said, Dallas, take us out.
Yes, thank you, Crown Digital, Brandon, and Io for putting us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Demi, thank you for editing, putting us on YouTube, repping for the family.
Repping for the family, for writers, for artists everywhere, for the family.
Gabby, thank you for your 10-minute take on White Man Can't Jump.
You're welcome, man.
Didn't finish the movie.
I love that. That's technically a 10-minute take.
She gave a 10-minute take, too.
Sorry.
That's beautiful.
I didn't talk about how great Rosie Perez is and how I love that there was the Jeopardy storyline.
Not that one. The new one.
Oh, the new one. I'm sorry.
Jesus.
Continue.
That's a 10-minute take.
It is 2023. Always let us know what you think of FasTEN Your Seatbelts and White Man Can't Jump.
Somebody actually asked me if that was actually the name of the movie because they were like, please tell me they didn't name it that. And I was like, no, they didn't. That's just what fans call it. That's what the general public calls
Great name. Let us know in the comments or hit us on Twitter at y'all_different, Instagram and Tumblr at Creative Differences Podcast, Facebook.com/Creative Differences PC, or TikTok at Creative Differences Pod. If you want to talk to me about why Colin is not beating the horror allegations, you can find me on Twitter and or Instagram at a king named Simba.
If you want to talk to me about Rosie Perez and that awesome Jeopardy scene in White Men Can't Jump, you can find me on Instagram at Stegosaurus.
Here's the thing, guys. I'm only going to be talking about Willow for the next week. I promise you. I already posted on my Twitter that's all I'm talking about. I didn't even talk about Fast X after I got out of the theater because I started talking about what's been going down in the entertainment industry immediately after I came out of the movie. So if you guys feel like listening to me do that, you guys can find me on Twitter at Dreamy Films. You can also find me on Instagram. I'm not doing all that talking on there, but I'm also barely posting photos. But you can find me there also at Dreamy Films. Dreamy is spelled DREEMI. Thanks again for joining us. Thank you again for listening to my soapbox, which I kind of knew was inevitable, but it needed to be said. Tune in next time. I think the next time you guys hear from us, we will be doing a Throwback Thursday for The Little Mermaid.
Hey.
And then after that, we will be doing a review for the new Little Mermaid.
Yep.
Guys, I promise you the episode is actually pretty funny. I just finished editing it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yay.
All right. It's been different. Bye.
Bye.
So the question of the day is mostly for Demi, but also anyone can answer. If you could pick one person who hasn't been there yet somehow to jump in the Fast and Furious movies, who would you pick?
Oh, that's such a good question.
Oh, like a new actor?
Like a new actor for like sometime in the next 2 movies.
Bad Bunny. He's not an actor, but I feel like he would fit.
At this point, he kind of is.
Yeah. So Bad Bunny.
I think he's been on the soundtrack.
He was in Bullet Train.
He was, so he's a wrestler, which is basically an actor.
Yeah, you're right. He won. He won a wrestling.
He's good at it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say Bad Bunny.
I'm still in hardcore Willow mode, so I'm gonna say Erin Kellyman.
I knew it.
That works.
She'd be really cool in those movies.
I was gonna say Marky Mark would be out of there, but no, Marky Mark is right in it.
My answer is Tom Cruise, because he would definitely just drive a car into an active volcano.
Yeah. We haven't done that. Well, we haven't gone into an active volcano, but there was a lot of fire when we drove down off a bridge this past time.
I think Tom would do that, but also I want him as Les Grossman from Tropic Thunder.
Yes. Sorry, I keep in the movie. I keep jerking this.
The last Fast movie ends with Les Grossman pitching this Fast series to somebody.
Yes.
Love it.
That would be a beautiful ending.